Welcome to the Pop Leisure Show. I'm your host, Lane Caddy, here to give you the lowdown on what's up this weekend in your area. I'm looking ahead to August right now as we flip the calendar. This Saturday is August 1st and Sunday, August 2nd. We'll get started with a list of the fun things happening. I like to focus, first of all, on some one-time events, and this weekend is a huge weekend for live music. Starting out Friday, July 31st, the Water Tower Live at Arnold's Entertainment Center in Oaks presents Perfect Strangers, a Berks County premier party band playing high-energy dance, rock, and pop from the 60s through today. That event highlights a Sly Fox happy hour from 7 to 9. You can get your beers for just $3 if they're Sly Fox. The music from 8 to 11 at the Water Tower in Oaks. Tickets are just $5. You can go to watertowerlive.com for tickets to that. It's an all-ages show. You got to be 21 to drink, obviously, but all ages to enter the space and enjoy the live music with Perfect Strangers on Friday, July 31st. In addition to that, right here in Royersford, Victory Park Free Concert Series is presenting a show at 6:30 p.m. on Saturday, August 1st. The bands Dear Friend and Minnow are playing. You can bring a blanket and a snack, bring the whole family, and check it out at Victory Park in Royersford. Then following that up, again in Royersford next week, Tuesday, August 4th, from 5 to 8 p.m. is your National Night Out at the corner of Washington and 4th Avenue. You'll have some vendors and fun there. And if you feel like going the distance for some music, Music Fest kicks off this weekend in Bethlehem, PA. It's one of the largest free music festivals in the country, and going to be lots of fun getting started this weekend in Bethlehem. I don't have a list of the lineup for that, but if you know, you know, it's a really good festival. So check it out, Music Fest. Let's talk next about some movies. This weekend is the release of the highly anticipated Spider-Man Brand New Day. This is Tom Holland's fourth solo Spider-Man movie made by Sony in partnership with Marvel Studios. We can expect to see more of Zendaya as MJ in this one, and some tense moments as Spider-Man's powers seem to be getting out of control. An issue that he takes up with Bruce Banner, played by Mark Ruffalo. Because who knows about out-of-control powers better than the Incredible Hulk? Let's see if they can help each other out. I sure hope so. I'm looking forward to this one. Spider-Man is an excellent flavor, I'm going to say, for the whole family. I really like taking the kids to enjoy a new Spider-Man film, and the storyline and the action seem to really appeal to the whole family. So that's a really good one. And right on the heels of Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey that came out last weekend, to great avail. I mean, that one has been long anticipated, and Matt Damon in a starring role. It's been a while since he was really the lead in a big movie like this, at least in my memory. I don't have a great memory, so what do I know? But Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey last week, there's just been a lineup of spectacular movies, one after the other in this amazing summer season. So we're really enjoying that. If you're looking for some ways to stay out of the heat, we have a Kids Bowl free at Arnold's Family Fun Center, and that is true for the entire summer. The only exclusion days are Saturdays, but all other days of the week, you can go to kidsbowlfree.com and sign your kids up for 2 free games a day. Like, that's not a joke. 2 free games a day of bowling, and it's good all summer till the end of August. And really, there's just no way to lose. You can even get a parent pass if you buy like a family package so that your bowling is paid for when you attend with the kids. It's one low price for that full pass for the season. And that's been a really exciting new thing that we've been enjoying so much lately. Just lots of new families showing up at Arnold's for that kind of thing. And it's very heartwarming to see you all having such a great time. So I think that's wrapping it up for this weekend, what I'm seeing going on all around us. And fun things to check out. I mean, there's always, of course, the standby fun things to check out, like the American Treasure Tour Museum, and Oak Center Cinema has great movies playing, and there's lots of parks and trails, and it is that time of year to go outside and get some sunshine. So it might be good to take a walk on the Schuylkill River Trail or even a bike ride, and just lots of time left to soak up summer. So enjoy, and I hope we'll see you at some of these exciting events this weekend. Speaking of sunny summer trails, up next you'll be hearing an interview with Heather Weirich, who is the director of Soul Riders, a program for emerging bike riders, mountain biking, summer camps, activities, and so much more. Heather was here to talk with me about a special fundraising event coming up, and also just the delights of biking in general. So let's chat with Heather, and I'll hear you on the other side. You're listening to Pop Leisure, and I'm your host, Lane Caddy. We give you the local lowdown on happenings like movies, music, arts, and entertainment. Let us know what's happening in your neck of the woods at Pop Leisure Show on Instagram, or email popleisureshow@gmail.com. Join us on FM 98.5 The Phoenix, Thursdays at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 9 p.m. I'm honored to be visited here today by Heather Weirich. Did I say it right, Heather?
You did.
Oh, good. I met Heather when she asked about meeting up with her camp, her Soul Riders mountain biking camp here at Arnold's. And they actually use the Schuylkill River Trail meets up with the Perkiomen Trail right just south of our parking lot here at Arnold's. And so they take some breaks here at Arnold's for lunch and things during the course of that camp that is produced by her company, Soul Riders. Mm-hmm. But Heather has so many great things going on all around biking, really. Biking is the thing, and it's a great time of year for it, right? We're here in the summertime. This is when we get to spend our time on bikes. Heather, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Oh, I'm so pleased that you can be here. Tell us, how did you get started getting people on bikes into the thing that you do like every day?
It's really been an interesting journey. We moved here, my family and I, probably 11 years ago. We live on Valley Forge Mountain, and we were lucky enough to move at the same time a bunch of families moved in, and one of those neighbors happened to be huge mountain bikers.
Cool.
So we started talking bike things one day, and so my neighbor Karen said, hey, well, let's go out and ride. There's some trails in Valley Forge, and we can practice there. So I'm like, that sounds great. So that's how it started. So we went out for about a 2-mile ride in the middle of summer, and I came back with like stinging nettle, mosquito bites. I'd fallen over a few times on the trail into like bricks and like poison ivy, and it was like the best day I have had in like decades.
Oh, that's so funny. So you had like all kinds of battle wounds, but It was tons of fun anyway.
It was super fun because it took me right back to being a kid, back in my day. Like I grew up in the Poconos, and when we were growing up, we had bikes and we just rode everywhere as little feral kids in our neighborhood.
Yes.
And we would go into the woods and we would just follow these game paths and like these deer trails, not thinking anything of it. We would just go out and ride and come back at dark and had the best day ever. Well, that was mountain biking.
Yeah.
So who knew back then when I was 11, 10, 9, and 8 that we were doing the things we're doing now. So I was like immediately thrown into the whole mountain biking, and I became obsessed. And that was 10, 11 years ago.
But that's not something that you were doing on the regular before then. It was like nostalgic because it took you back to being a kid, not something that you had been doing all this time.
Correct.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's how it began. And shortly thereafter, we saw some signs along the road for actually the time it was TE Mountain Bike Team. And it was for kids 6th through 12th grade. Co-ed, and you could become a volunteer coach. You could get your kids involved. So we called up because Phoenixille at the time did not have a mountain bike program. And we ended up getting involved with the Great Valley Mountain Bike Program through NICA, which for your listeners means National Interscholastic Cycling Association.
Okay.
And in Pennsylvania, we call it PICKLE, which is short for the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Cycling League. So
I get it.
We kick off, actually tonight is the first practice of PICKLE League and NICA League for the area.
Oh.
And that's how I got my family involved. So we became coaches and we got our kids involved. And after a couple of years at Great Valley, I looked at Phoenixille, and I'm like, well, we don't have a team yet, and it just makes sense to go ahead and
start up a team.
Start up the team. So I got permission to do so. Grabbed 12 of our closest coaches, and I think 11 or 12 kids, boys and girls. And guess what? That summer that we started was the year of COVID. So
what a bummer!
It was so our very first season looked different. It was a we were all wearing masks. We were all speaking we were all distance from one another. But we still kicked off the team and had practice.
You still kicked off the team, though?
We did.
Because my immediate reaction was, oh, bummer, COVID canceled everything. But you can bike. You were allowed. The thing that you could do was get on a trail.
Yes.
So you actually did proceed. It was a little different than the norm, but you proceeded.
It was.
Okay.
So we made it work. And from there, we built the Phoenixille Inferno mountain bike team. And we had a really successful first year, and we had races across the state because that's what this is. Go to different places like Gettysburg.
And was that also for students?
It was.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had it was 6th through 12th graders. So at the time, I think we started off with 6th through 8th graders, something of that sort. But we are now celebrating are we in our 6th year?
I think so.
Yeah,
because it's 26 now.
Yeah. So we started that team. But what many successful NICA and Pickle teams will do is that they will also start a nonprofit to kind of help support the team and raise money and get sponsorships for the kids.
So it's all sports involved fundraising. We are aware.
It's all sports involved. Oh, don't we all?
Yes. You got to do it.
We do. So we started. We founded More Kids on Bikes, which is our nonprofit here in Phoenixille. Again, we're in our 6th year, and through sponsorships and some team dues, we were able to purchase a couple of mountain bikes because mountain bikes are really expensive, and we wanted to make sure that we could create a pathway for anyone to join the team, regardless of obstacles.
Nice. Yes.
So we purchased some mountain bikes, and we had some helmets. And for the kids that needed to borrow a bike for the season, we had that in place, and kids brought their bikes, and off we went.
And you need a pile of helmets in case somebody forgets their helmet.
Absolutely.
We got to be able to just do this anyway.
Yeah, spare tubes, hydration packs as needed, snacks, multi-tools, all the things you need to be on trail safe and ready to fix your bike at a drop of a hat. So
that's true. Here I am. I have to admit, I do go biking, but I go always with my husband, who is Boy Scout level prepared for everything.
Yes.
And I don't even think about the fact that he has a whole toolkit attached to he has all of the things.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not thinking, I'm like, well, what do you really need anyway? It turns out.
You learn really quick what you need when you're out there and you don't have it.
That's true. That's very true. And it would be the worst to be out there with a whole team of children and need something and just be without. So,
exactly.
I'm sure that you are ever prepared.
Yes, my backpack, actually, it's a hydration pack that I don't actually carry my water bladder in any longer. I just use water bottles on my bike and in the side pockets.
Right.
But my backpack is filled with it's the multi-tools. It's, tubes and air and first aid kit, which is a big one as well. Snacks, because honestly, sometimes we're out there and we just bonk and we just need a sugary snack of goodness to get us going again.
Yeah, you're burning your fuel. You really need something to keep going.
We are. So we carry everything, even a bungee cord, which is something you can attach to the back of a bike if a kiddo bonks out, or a grown-up. I don't want to say kids and grown-ups don't bonk, because they do. And sometimes we might need a tow out of the trail or down the SRT because we're just exhausted. So we hook up to the guy in front of us and that person.
And it's called bonking. If I'm just too tired to resume, I can't do it. We call this bonk.
We call that bonking. So if your legs are there's nothing left, or your lungs are straining, or your headache maybe, or you just cannot do it, we call that bonking. And that can happen if you don't have enough water or fuel before you go out on your ride. So
sure. So eat a hearty breakfast before the ride. Okay. Wow. I feel like I need a whole nother interview to learn more about riding from you. I have a million questions. Cool. But I'm really interested in this organization, More Kids on Bikes. This is really exciting because I understand you developed it to be the fundraiser for the sport league that you were doing, the team. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like it's even further reaching than that.
It is. We looked at, we created More Kids on Bikes as the nonprofit to help support the Phoenixille Inferno mountain bike team, which I will also say that the Inferno mountain bike team has grown in the area to include Perkiomen Valley Vikings, We also support North Penn Mountain Bike Team, Inferno East, which is Methacton and Norristown school districts.
Okay.
We all start off as coaches.
That like the people from any of those school districts are welcome to join the team? Is that what that means?
Yes. So the way NICA and Pickle is configured is that if you live in a school district, then that's the team that you need to ride with. Back in COVID, we had all these coaches that lived in different parts of the area. Not all the kids, or they lived in the same as Phoenixille. So we all rode together and volunteered together.
Okay.
As the years went on, we were able to establish teams outside of Phoenixille. So now we had like our established coaches that were like, oh, they were with Phoenixille for a couple of years, but they're from Perkiomen Valley. So now we have enough kids to start a Perkiomen Valley team.
Oh, they have their own team.
So they have their own team. And same thing in North Penn and the Inferno East, which is east of Phoenixille as a composite. But More Kids on Bikes, we support all those teams. So providing, again, like what might be needed, whether it be nutrition, supplies, first aid kits for the coaches, team tents, because when there's race day, we've got team tents and we have flags and there's tables, and it's kind of like Hogwarts, but with bikes. It's super fun. It's electric. It's so amazing. But I digress. More Kids on Bikes is the nonprofit. While we do look after the NICA and Pickle teams in our little collective, we looked at our mission, which is to get more kids on bikes and more kids and adults on bikes. And it was like, how do we stay true to our mission? Because even though we love mountain biking and we want everyone to do mountain biking, it's not feasible for every family because mountain biking as a sport is expensive. Traveling to practice is a whole thing. Traveling back from practice, like you have to get to and from these locations because it is a traveling team too. So now you're throwing in races. Excuse me.
And even like maintaining a bike that fits a child, right? Children grow so quickly. Sometimes it's like, oh, I'll get them something that's a little bit too big for them just so that they can enjoy it a little longer. But even then, it's
a whole thing.
Eventually you have to buy another one.
And you'd be surprised of how many 13-year-olds that I meet along the way who started off in 7th grade as 12-year-olds and like 6 months has gone by and now they're 8 inches taller than they were and they look like young adults. I'm like, this is insane.
Yes, so, this happened to me, I'm going to say last week, my son got taller than me. He is taller than me. I'm not kidding. It happened last week and I'm having a fit. Having a fit.
It's real. It actually happened. It was like one night they woke up and like they were 6 inches taller. It's true. It's scientifically proven.
Yes. It happens that way. And then they can't fit the same bike anymore, though, is the problem that I'm having.
And lucky for us all, there's something called Facebook Marketplace now that we can sell our bikes and then find new used bikes or older used bikes. Like it's just kind of like this crazy swap meet at this point.
Giant trade share. I love this plan. Gosh. This is a good program. We're into the program. Yeah.
So again, I digress and I apologize. More Kids on Bikes, while we support the Pickle and NICA teams on that capacity, we looked at our mission and said, well, are we really reaching everyone we can? Like, if we're trying to get more kids on bikes, then we have to look at how do we get more kids on bikes? So our biggest project that we have done to date, we actually proposed, raised money for, and built the Phoenixille Bike Park in Phoenixille.
Whoa.
Yes. So
tell me, I have not been. I need more information. The Phoenixille Bike Park does it look like a skate park? Like with ramps and things?
Well, no, not quite. Well, okay. Yes and no. Okay. It is. So if you go up to the north side of Phoenixille into Reservoir Park, next to the dog parks, there is an area called the Phoenixille Bike Park, and it contains 3 dirt trails, a green line, which is for beginner, which everyone should start off anyway. Whether you're an expert, you should always warm up at a bike park. Okay. You take your green trail, which has a little ramp. It has a bridge. Ooh. It has a second bridge. It has some small berms, which are kind of like those bends in the trail that you might see, or like nice packed earth that you can kind of ride your bike around.
Okay.
Some of you who are familiar with bike things will know exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
So we have a green trail, and then we have a blue trail, so that's your intermediate trail.
Okay.
So again, we have a little bit of ramp. We have a couple of more challenging obstacles. Well, we shouldn't call them obstacles. We call them features now.
Features. Good.
We have a dirt step up, which kind of practice you're able to it's like a dirt ramp, if you will. And then something called a double roller, which is a wooden double roller, kind of like a roller coaster, I guess. So now you're riding
little bumps in the ground that you're kind of
like that,
little speed bumps, but you have to hit them at higher speed.
Yeah, and it's like it's wood and it's metal and all these features. I think all together there's 11 in this bike park. They were all manufactured by Burley Build. Yes, because Dirt Sculpt was our creator for the bike park. He designed it and he created the trails. So that's the intermediate trail, and it goes into a berm, another ramp, a little jump. And then we have the black line, which is considered, that's your experts.
Ooh.
It is the jump line. And you're going to see a lot of people who are, I would say, pretty experienced with biking and in that gravity zone.
Yeah.
The way it's built, it allows you to gravity to kind of take you and help you with those jumps. So something
How exciting.
I have rolled it a couple times, but when it comes to getting air, I need to have more tires on the ground because I have a mortgage to pay. So I'm more interested in the safety aspect than I am of the air aspect.
Right. But for the experts and the thrill seekers out there who are wanting to push the envelope,
yes,
that's the black line.
Exactly. And
how exciting.
We do. And helmets are mandatory. So
thank you for that.
Yes, we get down there sometimes and we see people riding without helmets. It's like, oh my gosh, please don't do that, because it only takes one fall and one head injury, and it can change your life forever. So
it can change your life forever.
If you take anything from this, wear your helmet all the time.
Right, 100% of the time when you're on a bike, you're just moving too fast to be 100%. Taking that kind of gamble.
Yeah, 100%.
That's even no matter what level. I think we get confident sometimes. We get really good at things like this. We get overly confident, and that's the danger zone.
That's when the crashes happen. And I can speak for myself. I've had 3 crashes where I'm like, I felt confident. I was on the trail. I knew exactly what I was doing. And it took 1 second. And next thing you know, there's a crash. And now there's broken ribs, broken fingers, broken wrist. I mean, it's kind of you have to be thoughtful.
Yes.
But I had my helmet on. So there's that.
Yeah. So you're okay, right?
And my head is fine.
Your head is just fine.
I mean, nothing wrong with it from biking anyway.
Seems fine from here.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, but what a major accomplishment of getting that bike park built. I'm sure that there was just endless levels of permissions and certifications and all kinds of things that you had to go through. And
there was.
That's an asset to the community. I'm so glad. I didn't even know about it. I'm so glad I know.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those best kept secrets in town. So we were really lucky because the folks over at the borough, St. Phoenixille Borough, the recreation department, all the folks there were so helpful, and they were on board. We were very lucky because a lot of times people will go to their community and go to their townships and say, hey, we want to build a bike park. And they automatically shut down the idea, because people don't want to say, essentially take the risk.
Right, yeah, there's some liability involved.
There's some liability, but that's, in their words, that's what insurance is for. Like, we have insurance, we carry insurance. People can trip on a sidewalk and they are still going to get hurt, and that still goes through insurance,
and
right?
frankly, it's the nature of fun. All fun things carry with them like this certain level of liability.
There is a part of, it's like, what do we call it? I'm missing my word here. There's an automatic danger with anything, like with bikes or with scooters or with skateboards. Like, horseback riding, sorry, but sometimes fun. You just got to be a little more careful.
Yeah.
So we were lucky because Phoenixille was, they were really behind us. They really helped us out along the way. We raised, I think it was $150,000 in 9 months.
Wow, that's an incredible feat.
And most of it was from the community. So you had private donors, you had individual donors. We went through a couple of organizations like IMBA that gave us grants and matching grants. But most of that money that was raised, it was raised through fundraisers, and it was raised for just 1 or 2 time donations. It was very much community built. So this bike park is for the community, by the community. And it is a free to use bike park. So now here we have this option for kids to go with their families. And even grown-ups. Grown-ups go here, too.
I want to go this weekend. I'm planning the trip. This is great.
It's so much fun. And the dog park is right next door. So if you have a family with a dog and we've got some bikes, this is the perfect place to go. So now you can do both. Your dog's at the dog park, your kids over here.
Fresh air for everyone.
Everybody gets outside.
This is fantastic. Okay, so the organization is More Kids on Bikes that put together the funding and everything for this bike park.
Yes.
And you have an event. More Kids on Bikes has a fundraising event coming up. What is the specs on that? The date, the time?
So we have a fundraising race coming up. It's called the Phoenixille Cross Country Tree Tangle at Yeager's Farm and Market here in Phoenixille.
Okay.
It is a cross-country mountain bike race. It is on Sunday, August 2nd, and it starts at 9 a.m. and it rolls to 4 p.m.
Okay.
The way the race is set up is that for anyone who's ever raced before, they would know the categories 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that basically means category 1, you're doing 3 laps. Category 2, you're going to do 2 laps. Category 3, 1 lap. Category 4 is not as far as the other laps. It's kind of more of a beginner, try mountain biking race.
Okay.
And then a Category 5, which is a 1 miler for our younger participants.
Oh,
Most of it is through, well, not most of it, it's at Yeager's Tree Farm.
Okay.
So the race happens on a bit of, we do a bit of gravel, we do a lot of grass.
Oh.
And we create trails through the woods and the trees, and we're talking like packed earth, like nice flowy trails. But we also have
fun, kind of shady too in the trees.
As
it's
needed.
not a lot of sun shining.
Exactly, as needed.
Okay.
And we call it the tree tangle because there are patches of small woods on the tree farm that we're allowed to go through, like old growth, like big, tall, like oak and things of that sort, which has that shade. Well, we utilize as much as we can by twisting through those shady areas, which is where the tree tangle comes up with its name.
Right. Yeah. I think of a bike race as I'm thinking more of like a road race that's like the high speed, like through on a street.
Yeah.
This is different. This is kind of more technical, trying to get around trees and over gravel and a lot more challenging in the terrain.
It's more challenging in the terrain, for sure, but we try to make everything beginner friendly as well. And also something like this, anytime there's a race, we always encourage anyone to, like, if you see a feature, like a bridge or maybe a rock garden or like a log over, something to ride over, and you're not comfortable doing so, you've never done so before, perfect time to walk your bike.
Right.
Because like we want you safe.
Around the side. It is fine.
100%. Like fine. It's about safety and having fun. And if you're crashing and not having fun, then, then we're doing it wrong.
I have a dumb question. This might be a dumb question, but how does this raise funds? What is the fundraising part of it?
Okay. So we hold this race, and there's some expenses that go into holding a race. So we have to pay the timer, the DJ, the course designer, and things of that sort, and getting supplies. So all those expenses kind of add up. So we go out to the community and find corporations and small businesses who'd like to sponsor the race. And we have different levels of sponsorship. So you can come in at $150 for the race or $500, and sometimes there's a $1,000 donation. And that helps cover all the expenses because all the money that we raise, aside from that, come from people who register for the race. So I think the tickets this year are $50 a piece.
Okay. And you get like a whole lot of people register.
We do. I think last year, the first year I think we had 225. Last year I think we had 285 people register.
That's wonderful.
And then this year we assume it will be larger because like usually word of mouth gets out and people come out and participate. And again, this is a race, but it's a fundraising race. So while there is a competitive nature to it for some folks, like it really is about kind of starting, like showing up, starting and finishing and having fun while doing it.
Oh, beautiful.
So the more people we have register for a race, that money goes towards the proceeds and then all the money that we raise because More Kids on Bikes is run by a board of volunteers. So all the money that we raise goes towards our programs that we support. Everything from what we talked before about our NICA team, to the annual maintenance of the Phoenixille Bike Park, and to other programs that we do. So we partner with a place called Foster Love out of California. It's a nonprofit where we purchase bikes through them, have them shipped, build them, and then donate them to kiddos and foster care system here in the area.
Gosh, that's so wonderful.
It feels good because it feels like we're doing our part. I don't know. It fills my bucket,
Absolutely.
So all these funds, like at the Berkeley Elementary After School Bike Club, like we were able to donate bikes to them and new helmets to them.
Oh, amazing.
And then another one we were partnering with is the Camp Hill School at Beaver Farm Bike Coalition. So we were able to support them as well. Just, again, trying to get bikes and helmets and equipment into the hands of groups that have people who are biking.
Right. To get more kids on bikes.
To get more kids
that was I love that we opened this conversation with your kind of nostalgia of bike riding as a kid and how you were just like set loose on the neighborhood on a bike. Like that is, I think, a real common thread among people our age, I shall say.
Yeah.
Right. It's like a happy memory. And it kind of feels like a lot of us aren't kids. You don't see a lot of kids doing that, or maybe not as many kids doing that, probably because they're, scrolling TikTok or something instead. But this is so good for them.
It is so good. And as someone, and I'm just going to insert this too, as someone who grew up with ADHD, but didn't know I had ADHD until college, which was like an eye opener. Reflecting upon the times I had my best, I don't want to say calmest times, but I guess the thoughts to they kind of straighten themselves out, and having clarity and having like reducing anxiety it comes from exercise. Mm-hmm. Biking is a huge bonus for people who have like ADHD, anxiety issues and things of that sort, because when you pedal, you're releasing dopamine, and it's something that the brain and the body has to kind of do, and it becomes automatic, and you kind of fall away from, I guess, the tension and anxiety, kind of what we are all kind of facing too. So even with kids who are like maybe at home and scrolling, like, and I'm as guilty as the next person. Like, I start my morning with coffee and scrolling.
It's true.
Oh my gosh! And I tell you what, like, and I will come out of the house and I will just, I might be grumpy, and I'm like, I'm stressed out, and I'm having all these thoughts. And the minute I get on my bike and like a couple miles into my ride, whether it's flat pavement on the SRT or if I'm on the trails or even like gravel, like. It goes away, and it's just kind of it's a regulator. So it's kind of like that, getting outside, getting under the sun, fresh air, moving your body. It is so helpful. It is so I don't know. It's like a reset for adults, for kids, and I just believe in it. I'm passionate about bikes, which.
You are. It's so wonderful. I'm passionate about exercise. I have like major life revolution experience in the realm of exercise, where I went from, I'm a different person today than I used to be. And it was because I like realized that I was not strong enough for my life, and I had to go out and get strong. It was, it changed. I was 35 years old when I learned how to use a gym. I had never lifted a weight before, and everything. I'm more healthy than I ever have been now because of it. But I think that this specifically being on a bike, not only does it take that muscle use, but it also it's that muscle use, it's cardio, and you have to pay attention like you do when you're driving. It takes a lot of your attention to not crash, which kind of forces you into that zone of focus. More so even than if you were, say, jogging.
Yes.
Right, because you're just, you have more things that you need to consider. So I think it could really, like you were saying, kind of force yourself into that focus zone and push out. It has a lot of features of just pushing out all the extra in your head. I think that's so cool.
100%. And you're coming off of that at the end of your ride, end of your exercise, and like, it's like, how do you feel? Like, I don't know. I think that we've kind of, as a society, like, and that's here, like, here we are, technology, right? And this is kind of like, we have to be thoughtful and we have to be mindful, and, getting more people outside, getting more people active. And I think that would go a long way to making the world maybe kinder and more helpful for one another. I think you're right. It goes way beyond.
It does just exercise.
It does. It goes beyond the self. Goes beyond the physical. It's about also how we interact with one another. How do we perceive one another? How do we, when we're entering a space, how are we leaving that space? Are we leaving it better than we found it, or are we leaving, like a negative energy behind? So I feel like biking and exercise is an answer to so much. It really is.
It is, and I'm so pleased to know you. I think that you leave your spaces so uplifted and positive. You really do. This is such a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me today. And let's remind everybody before we sign off, when is the Phoenixille Cross Country Tree Tangle?
So that is Sunday, August 2nd, and it's at Yeager's Tree Farm.
At Yeager's Tree Farm, starts at 9:00. How can they register?
So you can go to our website. This is what I'd recommend. Okay. So our website is morekidsonbikespa.org, and you will see a tab for the PXV Tree Tangle. There will be a link for you to register through Bike Reg, and pick your category. So, and we even have a fun lap, so you can just come out and like, it's non-competitive at the end, and like you can just ride the lap that the racers have ridden before you, and that way you get to see part of the farm and you get to just kind of be part of it. But we have food trucks, we have beverage trucks, we have a DJ all day. And the people who do this race, the top 5 competitors in each category, everyone's eligible for a prize. So that's another thing too. So we look for sponsors and people to get donate prizes, because again, it's about more community and trying to get more people involved and saying thank you for supporting us, and making it a really cool event that you want to come back to the following year.
That is fabulous. All right, we're gonna wrap up this conversation, and I'm gonna bring you some prizes.
I've got
wonderful. Arnold's and Oak Center Cinema tickets to add to your prize jar for those guys. So at the More Kids on Bikes PA.org, Collegeville.org is the website. You can go there, find out more about this race and probably about giving in general. There's so many amazing causes, amazing ways that they're helping the community, helping get more kids on bikes. So if it speaks to you, check it out. Thanks so much, Heather.
Thank you for having me.
Take care. Welcome to Pop Leisure. I'm your host, Lane Caddy, bringing you the latest buzz on local events, movies, music, art, and entertainment happening around your community. Do you know about something cool that's happening? Share it with us. Find us on Instagram at Pop Leisure Show or email popleisureshow@gmail.com. Join us every Thursday at 6 p.m. and Fridays at 9 p.m. on 98.5 WXPM The Phoenix. Don't miss a beat. Catch Pop Leisure Show where the spotlight shines on everything fun, local, and entertaining. Speaking of local, my recording studio is in Arnold's Entertainment Center in the wee little town of Oaks, Pennsylvania. And Oaks, Pennsylvania, sometimes even if you live nearby, you might not have heard of it because it's kind of a blip on a map, right? If you are traveling west on Route 422 from King of Prussia to Phoenixille, you're going to pass by an exit for Oaks, Pennsylvania. And I want to come at you today with just a little bit of information about this sweet town. Oaks is a community located at the intersection of the Schuylkill River and the Perkiomen Creek. The town was named after the designer of the Schuylkill River Canal, Thomas Oakes, in 1825. Been around a long time. Later, a stop on the Philadelphia Reading Railroad facilitated continued industrial growth in the region. It's today an area that has grown to a dense Philly suburb with some special attributes. The large-scale industrial buildings house one-of-a-kind attractions, shopping, and entertainment. It would be considered a mainline town. It's become a burgeoning hotspot for events, hotels, dining, activities, especially drawing visitors from two big players in the tourism industry, Valley Forge National Historic Park, which is our neighbor, and also the Greater Philadelphia Expo Center. So those are just some fun little bits about Oaks, Pennsylvania. Of course, I work for Valley Forge Promotions, which is the company that does all the operations management and advertising for some of the venues here in Oaks, especially Arnold's Entertainment Center. Now, if you haven't been to Arnold's before, I feel like there's so much to tell you. There's so much to tell you about Arnold's because that, just like the town of Oaks that started as a little spot on a map, Arnold started as a go-kart track when Edward Arnold invented a super fast charging go-kart battery. So fascinatingly, you could do some go-karting activities prior to this invention, but go-karts were gas powered. And so this was something that had to happen outdoors because of the fumes from a gas engine. And when Edward Arnold invented this super fast charging go-kart battery, there were some other battery models, but you couldn't really use them on a commercial scale because they took so long to charge that you'd have to have like 3 fleets of carts to keep them on the track all the time. So this was revolutionary, and it changed the way that we thought about go-karts being something that you could only do outside. Now, Arnold's has all indoor go-karts, and the track took up residence in this building that was previously the B.F. Goodrich tire factory. So I don't know if there's like 1 million square feet in the building, but it's now presently the building that also houses the FedEx Hub, as well as the American Treasure Tour Museum. There's a Remo restaurant supply. There's a huge gym. There's the Philadelphia Rock Gym. I think there's even a Sky Zone in here. This place is so big. It's like a shopping complex all on its own, and all the way around the exterior are separate entrances to these separate companies. So I'm going way back in history now. I'm having a little history lesson moment. Arnold's opens up with a go-kart track, and I have seen pictures of and heard stories of the go-kart track in this space that really otherwise felt like a warehouse space. And then beside it, next to it, was a display of classic cars, some of which, I don't know how many of which, but some of which were owned by Elvis Presley, or at least one. Tell me if you know more about this. I want to hear about it because I'm a little foggy on the details, and I've been gathering up some history because I care, because I'm interested, because this is a place that matters a lot to me, it matters a lot to the community, and I want to kind of preserve the story of what happened here. So email me, popleisureshow@gmail.com, if you have more information about this, you guys, or if you're hearing this and you have a friend who knows, send it my way. Pictures of the place as it once was. That would be so cool. I'm doing a little deep dive history research lesson, but here's what I know so far. And it's that there was at least one car, if not multiple cars, in this collection next to the track that were owned by Elvis Presley. And at the time that they started this up, there was also a big emphasis on racing, and that the people from Arnold's would actually travel around and participate in other go-kart races or different sort of championships. Uh, so I'm still researching, but this is what I know so far. At some point in the early aughts, early 2000s, the place started to expand. So Edward Arnold didn't own it for a terribly long time. I'm going to say 10 years or less that he owned it before he sold it. And then the management group eventually that I work for ended up being the operators of the place. And they looked around and said, okay, well, if you're coming here to do go-karts, maybe you want to play laser tag, maybe you want to have arcade games. And so it started to build out into the space. They took the classic cars out and replaced it with other activities that you might do in conjunction with go-karts. And this makes a lot of sense. So presently, there are about 100 arcade games in the arcade here at Arnold's, and they range from super exciting top of the line cabinets, like a 4-seater Halo Fireteam Raven that is like such a top of the line machine. It's a fully enclosed experience. You have this like big gun that you hold with 2 handles, and it's 4 screens, and just all of the lights and excitements and that immersive experience for that game. The XD motion theater ride is another one that's like very immersive experience. You put on 3D glasses and the seat moves and you feel like you're on a roller coaster. Like it tricks your mind into giving you those bodily sensations of I'm on a roller coaster, but you're not really. It's fascinating. The whole way down to the kind of more standard Ms. Pac-Man, not standard, but the classics. We've got some of the vintage classics, Ms. Pac-Man, some pinball machines, skee ball. I gotta love skee ball. And then the sport machines like basketball shooters. We have Basketball Connect 4, some basketball shooters, all different kinds. There's a VR machine as well. So the arcade is expansive. There are also kiddie rides. There's like a whole section of carnival type for kids, and then play spaces like the Arnie's Cannon Blast for the youngest of our guests. But there's also some appealing to teens and adults more exclusively. There's a haunted laser tag arena coming up in the fall here. You're going to want to check out Area 2200 Haunted Laser Tag. It actually, in the early aughts, was part of the project expansion, was a haunted house. So for the month of October, there were live actors, and there was a huge, beautiful haunted house here at the back of the go-kart track at Arnold's. And that was one of our major attractions. And, it was a huge deal throughout the year that you could come and see the haunted house at Arnold's. But that's such a limited time frame for that to be useful, right? You can only really use it 30 days out of the year. So it got converted into a haunted laser tag arena. And so Area 2200 is super scary. Like it's recommended ages 13 and up, and they really try to stand by that. I mean, if you're 12 and you want to go, they'd probably let you, but I don't know. It's it's so scary. It's really a pretty strong recommendation because it's pretty intense up there. There are like lighting effects that are scary. There are like the kind of there's like a fabric, like a cheesecloth type thing that like actually kind of brushes by you that is just makes you want to jump out of your skin. There's some animatronics. There's a lot of like some loud, like sharp noises that just
make you want to jump out of your skin. So that's a lot of fun. Speaking of attractions that are for grown-ups, there's also axe throwing. This is one of the brand newest pieces of Arnold's is intelligence axe throwing. It's so much fun. Everybody knows, how to, well, you may not know how to do the axe throwing, but you've seen it. You've seen the big wooden boards and there's like these cages and you're throwing axes at it. Great. We got a setup that is, we're calling it intelligent axe throwing. It's by Lasertron. There are projectors in the ceiling that project different game formats onto the wooden targets. So it's still steel axes, still big wooden targets, but the projection is projecting on either a dartboard or a Connect Four or these little. I really like this for the holidays. There's these little gifts that you try to aim at, and the smaller the gift, the more points it's worth. And so there's an iPad that you actually select your variety of gameplay prior to starting the game. So it really gives it a variety, a spice that you wouldn't get otherwise. And we're doing a lot of business for corporate events for your holiday party, or just because your team just won an award or finished a project and you need some morale boosting. These are the kind of activities that you do. You get to know each other better, you have some laughs together, and it really improves the working environment when we spend a little time getting to know each other as people and having those laugh out loud moments. And so haunted laser tag, axe throwing, bowling is another really strong one for that. Our bowling facility is so fun, and there's a major upgrade. I've talked about it before because I feel like I want to shout it from the rooftops because it's so behind the scenes, but it's also so exciting. And what I'm talking about is brand new pin setters. So for the entire life of the bowling alley there, which was added on, gosh, we were talking about the history of Arnold's. So let's go full circle with this. Arnold's was the fun center space until about 2008, maybe 2010. Let's call it 2010, was when they actually broke through part of one of the walls and created this passageway into a different part of the building that they completely gutted, completely refinished, and they built four important things. Gosh, there's so much here. So this is about 2010. They built a banquet room. It seats up to 150 people for an event. Again, like these holiday Christmas parties for your company or your Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts social club, or different any kind of reason, huge family reunions. It's a really great space to hold your meal. And then they also built a 20-lane bowling alley and two bars. And in the bowling alley, Water Tower Live, which is the sound stage, and it is a fully equipped, really excellent sound system for live music. And so there's the history of the expansion. In the 90s, they added on some arcade, and then it kind of just grew and grew a little bit. In the early aughts, they added some kiddie rides and a haunted house, which was later converted into haunted laser tag. And then they broke down a wall and added almost an equal amount of space to what was there to begin with to add on banquet room, bars, live music, and bowling. And now the place is a labyrinth. And it can be really surprising to people who knew of it. Say in the 90s, you were there running around with your little friends going to laser tag. You might not realize that there is a bar and a bowling alley on the other side of it. Like you may not even know. You may have been there before and not even know. I know people who have been there recently for their kid's friend's birthday party and didn't walk through to the other side, didn't even realize that there's bowling and axe throwing and bar over there. So it's such a big place. You can actually be there and not even know about all these things. I find this remarkable. And so this is why I'm telling you about it. All right. So there's some history. And then, more recently, we started to really push Water Tower as a home for live music in the area. It was sad to see, especially around the time of COVID, that a lot of live music venues didn't survive that, and for various reasons. But because we had such a lot of other stuff going on, and you know what, by the grace of God, I didn't know if we were going to survive COVID. That was really rough as a business that really works on a social format, right? This is things that you go out and do together. It was a tough time, but here we are, stronger than ever. The things that don't kill you make you stronger, and we made it through. And it's really wonderful to see people coming out and getting to enjoy the good times, make memories of your good times together. And one of the most recent things, there's two of the most recent attractions at Arnold's, and they are the ropes course. There's a ropes course. You climb about 18 feet into the air, and you have these challenging ropes courses that you walk through. They're obstacles like little rope bridges, and there's even a plank. You can walk out onto the edge of this plank that's over the go-kart track, so you're looking down, seeing the go-karts zooming underneath your feet. And so talk about adrenaline. It's very thrilling up in the ropes course. Really enjoy it there. That's one of the most recent additions. And then just last year, actually, was the addition of intelligent axe throwing. I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago that we replaced all of the pin setters in the bowling alley. And that's what I started telling you about. Okay, so pin setting machines, the ones that were in the bowling alley to begin with, were a fascinating piece of equipment, but it is an intense machine. It's like those pins fall down and the machine just like scrambles to scoop them all up, and they go whipping around in this crazy circle, and then it puts them all down back in place. And it was like there was always a mechanic back there up to his elbows in grease, and just like there's pins flying around. It was noisy, it was crazy, it was such a production, and it was really hard to keep these machines going, and they would break down and it would interrupt your gameplay, and it would be frustrating, generally speaking, until in 23, I think it was 23, 24, we replaced all of the pin setters in the bowling alley with Cubica brand new pin setters. And it is a world of difference. These brand new pin setters practically feel like they're in hermetically sealed chambers. Like they're so stable. We don't even, have a mechanic back there. We have just like the manager, if something goes wrong, just presses a few buttons and it all gets set and nothing ever goes wrong is the thing. It's like so rare that there's even a problem to begin with. And so bowling is just so much more smooth and pleasant. And now we have a lot of live music, especially on Saturday nights. Check out Water Tower Live for the full lineup of live music. You can even kind of line up your bowling with the live music. If you see a band that looks like a lot of fun, you can reserve a bowling lane during the time slot that they're going to be there so that you get the best of both worlds. If you're trying to check it all out, highly recommend that. We also have Sly Fox happy hours on Thursdays and Saturdays. So definitely worth checking that out. I should get the guys on Sly Fox to come here and chat with me on the radio. That would be a fun interview. All right, guys. That's some background about Arnold's Family Fun Center. Like I said, the history, I don't have a ton of information. I have a couple news articles and just little bits and pieces here and there. But if you are from this area, you probably have more memory of it than I do. I grew up in Lancaster County, so I was not right here to be here as a kid. So, send me your pictures, send me your history, little bits of history. And I'd love to know more about your experiences back in the day in the town of Oaks and at Arnold's in particular. Thanks for listening to Pop Leisure. It's been a lot of fun. I hope I'll see you here next week at 6 p.m. on Thursdays and 9 p.m. on Fridays. WXPM 98.5, The Phoenix.